Yeah, for sure, Nori. As we have the 4 minutes in our hands, so just wait for 1 or 2 more minutes, Nori.
Okay, sure, no problem. So I should just stay on here, right?
Yes, definitely you can like take some preparations.
Yeah, sure,
Nori.
no problem. I was just wondering if there was going to be a different link or if it was this one, but it sounds like it's this one, right?
Yes, this one just only you and me here, but people can see us through the Binance link actually. You
Right.
can check also if you want.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so let's begin this, Amy. First of all, let me thank you everyone for having here actually in this Amy session, and special thanks goes to Crypto Well community for arranging this amazing Amy session with them, the Bowl Network, and also like today we'll learn more about their plan, their utilities, how they work, everything through this Amy. I have just amazing some amazing questions. I will ask to Rahul. Hope that he will answer one by one, Nori. So I would like to invite our honorable speaker today, Rahul. So could you please, Rahul, introduce yourself first? Like, how do you connect this project? And then could you just give us like any bit about yourself, about your
Sure.
experience actually in the crypto space?
Sure, sure, absolutely, and thank you for having us here, and to everybody that's listening. So, in terms of my background, I've been in the venture capital slash private equity space for about 25 years. The last about 10 of those I have spent investing in and operating blockchain companies exclusively. So, the last 10 years have been dedicated to that. Within the blockchain space, my specialty is around token engineering and token architecture. And eventually, through those projects, is how I connected with the Bull Network team, learned about their project, and thought it was absolutely amazing. And that's how I came on board.
Okay, yeah, happy to know about yourself. So thank you. So it's time to know more about the Bool network actually. People they have their website and other social. You can visit there. You can make your own research also. No worry. But I think today we'll cover everything as much as we can actually. So first of all, like, may I know about what is your Bool network actually, and also what problems does it aim to solve within the Bitcoin ecosystem?
Sure. So the Bull Network is a platform that really brings smart contract functionality into the Bitcoin mainnet. And so the idea behind this is really to solve the problem, eh, particularly that problem specifically, the lack of smart contracts, right? And what this does is it creates a lack of integrations for the Bitcoin mainnet, and it really just leaves a lot of value that is stored within BTC that is not being properly leveraged. So that's the problem that we set out to solve.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you for answering my question. So, guys, hope that you got already about the idea what is Bull Network actually. So, let me discuss about like how does your Bull Network maintain the decentralization and security while enhancing the scalability of Bitcoin?
Sure, sure. So there's a couple of things to look into here. So in terms of decentralization, it's important to understand that anybody can join Bull Network, right? So it is a network that is open to the public, and this allows for nodes that validate transactions and that make up the dynamic hidden committees, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a second. It allows everyone to participate, right? So maintaining that level of decentralization increases security. And then we take that even further, right? You have what we called, again, the DHCs, committees that are made up of these nodes. And these committees and the nodes that make up these committees are completely anonymous to the actual node owner themselves, but also to the general public. And this allows for additional security. And On top of that, what we have is that these nodes that make up committees will be on a regular basis changed within a committee, and that will allow for the private keys that are kept within that committee to be passed on to a new one, and thus preventing any external attack. So there's a few layers. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of information, but there's a few layers of security, both towards the inside and towards the outside of Bull Network, and that's what helps maintain the decentralization, or the decentralization helps maintain the security, rather.
Okay, yeah. So guys, they are very, very decentralized in manner. No worry, like no one can control your data. No one can hack your data actually. So don't worry about the security system. Thank you once again for providing the information about the
Sure. And actually,
security.
you know what?
Yeah.
One more important point touching upon that, what you just said, is the fact that Bull Network wasn't built on a central authority, right? So Bull Network was actually built on cryptography. And so what that means is that, unlike, let's say, RAP BTC, who, and we've seen some concerns about their centralized control, and what some people are raising as a concern. Bull Network, unlike all those, was completely built on cryptography. So there is no central authority controlling the network, or say we don't control it. So, and that also helps with that level of decentralization as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you for this. And also, guys, the Bull network is, I can say, rewriting the rules for the Bitcoin and DeFi. That is unlocking the real potential, the real value. So I can say that like this is the beginning of the decentralized financial landscape, where I can say the security meets the freedom, and also innovation meets the opportunity. So yeah, just stay tuned with them. Thank you for answering this question. And also, I can see some points like which is the dynamic hidden committee. I'm very excited about this. Like, what is the main purpose of this dynamic hidden committee or DHC in the Bull network, and how does it work?
Sure, sure. So thank you for asking about, yeah. So DHCs are actually one of the main things that drives Bull Network, right? And the other one is Bitcoin's Taproot function, which we can talk about later. But DHCs really lay in the middle of all of this. And the first thing is to understand that they are permissionless, and like I said before, they are anonymous. And what this means is that anybody that's running a node in the Bull network can participate in the DHCs, and so this is the first thing to understand, is that they're open to everyone. Now, in terms of understanding how they work, let's just break them down, right? So the name is Dynamic Hidden Committee, and let's start with the last word, committee, right? So basically, what happens is the system will select a number of nodes, again, nodes that are participating in the Bull network and who anyone can own. They will be selected to join a committee, right? And so when we say the word committee, what we mean by this is there are several members, and the outcome is controlled by majority. And of course, there's also some, let's say, redundancy in the sense of, we might need only 6 out of 9 signatures to work, but that's a bit more technical. But just think about it as a committee of nodes that come together. Now, let's think about the other two words, hidden, right? So dynamic hidden committee. Hidden comes from the fact, as I mentioned before, that they are anonymous, not only to, let's say, the node owner themselves, but also to external parties, right? And so, because they are hidden, because they're not accessible, because they are anonymous, this increases the security that we're talking about before. And then finally, the word dynamic. The reason that word is there is because another important feature of these dynamic and committees is the fact that they will change, right? And so, excuse me, the nodes that make up a committee in Epoch 1, let's say, will be different. So in the case of Bull Network, every 10 minutes, new nodes will be selected, again, anonymously, to make up a new committee. And once that new committee is made up, the private key shards are transferred from one committee to the new one, right? And so this is what we mean by dynamic, is that the committee will change, it will update, so to speak, and be composed by new nodes in the Bull network ecosystem.
Okay, thank you. I'm clear now about your the hidden committee actually behind this network. Thank you, thank you. And also, guys, there is good news. Like I can say, the Bull network beta mainnet on November 10th actually. So don't miss the chance. Like I can say, the self-custody, cryptographic trust you will get, and limitless potential that I'll covering the T-Bull that isn't just a token. So you have a lot of utilities there. So, could you please say a bit about this mainnet launch? Actually, like, is there anything else that you have, like any other plan about this mainnet launch?
Sure, absolutely. So we're very excited, as you can imagine, about the launch of the mainnet. There's been a lot of work that has come into this, starting back with the publishing of the original paper that gave life to Bull Network back in September of 2022. And there has been, of course, first there was an alpha mainnet, then we had, the Bull Bridge. We've had a long process of integrating, over 20 blockchains at this point, and really just building relationships and releasing the beta test net last June. And so the release of the mainnet, of this beta mainnet, really is the culmination of a lot of work by the team, a lot of iteration, a lot of improving and kind of having those cycles of making things better. So yeah, we're absolutely thrilled to have the launch of the mainnet, as you mentioned, on November 10th. So that is something to look out for, and of course, there are different types of activities and promotions going on related to the T-Bull token that are happening on Telegram, and that you can find about in our different social media outlets, so that you can participate. One of them has to do with sending a greeting in your language, or a song. It doesn't have to be a greeting. It can be poetry. It can be whatever you want. The idea is for us to get to know the Bull Network family, and the community that's out there. So that's one of that's one example of many activities that are happening in parallel with the launch of the mainnet. So I would invite everyone to check out our social media channels for all these announcements, so they can participate in all these activities.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Wish you good luck for your minute actually. And also people don't forget to join their community if you want to get more news about this. Thank you once again. So as for I know you have another features like the cross-chain capabilities. So may I know like how does your Bull network support the cross-chain capabilities, and why this is very important for the Bitcoin feature?
Sure, absolutely. So that's where the dynamic hidden committees that we spoke about really come in, right? So basically, what happens is the dynamic hidden committee and the user work together, right? And so what they will do is they will create a two of two SIG contract that will interact with the taproot function, and really together is how they can control the outcome of the taproot function. And so creating this ecosystem that additionally has an escape hatch if anything were to go wrong. But creating kind of the architecture that we have is really what allows um, the dynamic in committee and the user together to work as a unit and interact with these protocols. And so really what we're doing is, as I mentioned earlier, creating this smart contract functionality, bringing this seamless integration and interoperability of the Bitcoin mainnet with other layer ones and layer twos. And so that's kind of how that happens. And again, that's the importance of the role of the DHCs. Now, why is this important? Well, basically what we are doing here, and by having this functionality, we are unlocking all of that value that is stored in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And by unlocking, I mean we are now able to uh, bring it into the rest of the Web3 world, and particularly into DeFi activities, uh, Bitcoin collateralized stablecoin, restaking protocols, and of course, the bridges that handle currently these cross-chain functionalities. So the idea really is to open up all of that value that has been stored in Bitcoin, but up to now hasn't been able to be leveraged through activities like DeFi, and that's what we're bringing to the table, really.
Okay, yeah. Thank you once again. Yeah, wish you good luck. I think this is a good sign, like as you mentioned, like you're doing a lot of things with the cross-chain capabilities. Yeah, that's amazing. So, how does your browser ensure the trustless within the system? Actually, like as you're maintaining this kind of cross-chain interconnection. So, how do you maintain the security options for your project?
Sure. So there's a couple of ways to look at the trustlessness, right? So starting with, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that all this was built on cryptography, right? So we are not talking about a central authority that users out there would have to trust, right, for lack of a better word, in order to complete these operations. So all of this is done in a way where it's really managed by the system itself. So I would say that's kind of the first layer that we have, is that anyone can join, is that it's completely open to the public and transparent. So that, I think, in itself brings an important level of trust. The second one, as I mentioned, is when we talk about the nodes that integrate these dynamic in committees, having that anonymity, having that, let's say, selection process be completely anonymous is an additional layer of trust. Additionally, the nodes themselves have to run a trusted environment, and what this means is that, let's say, the where these operations are being validated, or where this interaction is happening with the Bull network, that is isolated, let's say, and cannot be tampered with. So that is an additional layer of trust. And then, like I said, is integrating kind of that dynamic aspect of the committees themselves. So aside from being hidden, the fact that they change creates an additional layer of, let's say, difficulty for any potential external attack. And again, this brings a layer of trust. And finally, what I would say is a lot of the trust comes from the facts. And when you look at the partnerships that we've built, from the fact that we've spent a lot of time talking to some of the main projects, and by projects I mean it in the large sense of the word, and we've had we've had their support, right? They see not only the value but the seriousness of the project. They see the quality of the build, of the architecture, and also they see the huge potential. And so having those really well-known names back us and be supporting us, I think is an additional layer of trust on top of everything I mentioned before.
Yes, definitely. I think you already mentioned in some of the previous question about your security. Thank you once again. So people get ready. Like if you have any question and queries, you can ask through this email, or later on that you can ask through their social. No worry. I have just a few questions left. Okay. So what are the main benefits of Bull Network for the Bitcoin users and the developers actually?
Sure. So I would say, there's several. The one that I think is the coolest, and we talk about this in the team, and I always say this. The one I think is the coolest because I find it to be so innovative and different from everything that's out there, is the self custody model. And what I mean by this is that when you're using Bull Network, and the fact that we've created the THCs to interact with the user and control the output function of the taproot. Sorry, the output of the taproot function. This allows for the assets to remain under the control of the user. So unlike existing solutions, let's say bridges or layer twos, where you would have to transfer your asset, your BTC, and run a risk of, if things were to go wrong, to lose it or to lose your assets. That's not the case with us, right? So the self custody model, I think, is very innovative. The other thing that I would say, on top of what I've mentioned before, is having that seamless integration, right? So some of the solutions we see out there are a bit clunky. They I would say they're a little bit of band-aids that are trying to solve this, but Bull Network really is a permanent, scalable, and secure solution that brings this. So having, I would say, both of those things are a huge benefit for users, both in terms of, again, just making sure they have control and have a recourse to recover their assets should anything go wrong. The trust, of course, we talked about before, but again, having that seamless experience that we see in other the interaction of other blockchains, but unfortunately, we haven't seen up until now with the Bitcoin mainnet. So that's absolutely a huge benefit for users.
Okay, yeah. So, like the Bitcoin users and others, you will get a lot of benefits, and also there are a lot of incentives for you. So you can invite your friends and family to be part of their projects. No worry. Thank you once again. So let's take another one. Like, how does your Bull network's permissionless structure contribute to its decentralization?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, like how does your Bull network permissionless structure contribute to its decentralization?
Sure, sure. So when we talk about permissionless in this context, what we're talking about is the fact that in order to be part of the Bull network, in order to run a node, in order to participate in the DHCs, um, you don't need uh, authorization. You don't need, our permission. You don't need our, anyone can do it. And so the fact that anyone can join, the fact that anyone can run a node that can be selected for the DHCs, I think is a huge factor in decentralization, right? We're not talking about a small number of nodes either. We're talking about a few hundred nodes, and that number continues to grow exponentially. And so the fact that anyone can join anywhere is what keeps, let's say, that ethos of Bitcoin and Bitcoin being so decentralized, that ethos of Bitcoin alive in Bull Network.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And here is the last question. I think we covered everything.
Sure.
Okay, how does your Bull network compare to other networks that aim to expand the Bitcoin's scalability and the crossing capabilities? Like, what you are different than others?
Sure, sure. So there's a couple of things. I mean, when you look, let's start, let's say, with something we haven't talked about that much, and I'll go back to the tech stuff. But one of the things that we see in Bold Network is that we have a truly global community, and that's something that we're very proud of. It's something that we have worked very hard on. We have an ambassador program, and we are engaged with key opinion leaders around the globe, and that has led to a community that's very diverse, and that's one of the things that I would say is quite different. I think it's a great advantage. It's something that comes with understanding markets in different ways, understanding technology, how it evolves, innovation, those sort of things. I think is one of them, right? So the other things, as I mentioned before, is the self custody model is something that is completely unique. Um, the fact that there is no central authority is again also very unique when compared to other solutions. The way the actual system operates in terms of that like that seamless connection, right? And I would invite users to try it. And one thing that we haven't talked about, but also sets Bull Network apart, is it's its modular design, and so it has been created in a way where it's a perfect plugin, right? It's a plug and play sort of a scenario where this BTC Fi, this DeFi with Bitcoin, becomes accessible, and it becomes accessible to those looking for solutions in which they don't necessarily need everything, and so the modular design is quite different as well. So just to recap, number one, self custody. Number two, no central authority, so cryptographic trust. Number three, the way it works, the seamless operation of the system. And number four, the modular design that it brings. And again, what I started with, number five, and last but not least, is the community itself. I think that Bull Network, as I said, has a global community that's very engaged, very supporting, very active, and we love that. We think that that is the strongest force behind Bull Network and the biggest differentiating factor.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Raul, for answering all of my questions. So let me take some questions. I can see people are asking in our Binance chat. Actually,
Sure.
some people asking about your partners. I think yeah, you can take this one. Like, do you have any partners for now or any collaboration plan in future?
Do you mean partners in terms of working with partners, or do you mean partners in
Yeah,
terms
like
of, are we talking investors and?
yeah, I think you can cover both of these. Like as he didn't mention anything, I'll just ask about your partners.
Sure, sure. So let's see. So again, the word partner is broad, right? So if we're talking about partners from the side, let's say more of tech, one of the partners that I can mention is the Babylon restaking protocol, which we've integrated, and I'm sure that people familiar with the Bitcoin, let's say, ecosystem, we know what I'm talking about. Same with Lorenzo protocol. Um, we have worked with many of the layer twos. We work with many of the layer twos. So B squared, bit layer, you name it. We work with partners in, let's say, the different sense of the word, in terms of our growth of community. So those partners would be our ambassadors. We have a strong ambassador program that helps promote the growth, and I would invite people to find out more about that if they're interested in seeing how they can get involved. And then we talk about, as I mentioned, there's partners in terms of investors, in terms of supporters, in terms of people that are behind us. So there I can mention, I think, Antalpha Ventures, via BTC Capital, Spark Digital Capital, Web3 Ports, right? The list goes on. Uh, those are important partnerships that we've created and that really help drive the growth. So yeah, in the larger sense of the word partners, I hope that answers that question.
Okay, yeah, thank you once again. So let me take another question from David. Okay, asked about your the token. So do you have any token or could you say about your token utility?
Sure, sure. So yeah, after the launch of the mainnets this November 10th, that is our next, let's say, big milestone. Will be the token generation event. Um, the people that have been participating in the community know well that the T-Bull token has been in let's say in distribution and as part of the testnet itself, and that will come. But what I can tell you now is that the token will have a maximum supply of 1 billion, and out of that 1 billion, there has been an allocation for the community. Let me just think. If we take out team and investors, there's an allocation of more than 200 and sorry 730 million tokens. So a very large number of those will be going to the community itself. The date itself of the token generation event has not been announced. I would say that's something to stay tuned for, but it's coming in the near future.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So let me take the one more or two questions. So yeah, do you have any ambassador programs for now?
We do. Actually, the ambassador program, as I mentioned, is has been one of the big drivers of growth. It is a program that works out really, really well. And here I want to mention a couple of my teammates, Virgil and Victor, who is our CMO. They have been working really hard in creating these programs that help grow the community. There is an active program, and in fact, we're always looking for new ambassadors. So I would encourage people to reach out if they're interested in finding out more. Because yes, absolutely, there is an ambassador program. It's growing. We're looking for new people out there, and like I said, we're really interested in making sure that we have people in every corner of the globe, and really just disseminating our message across, physically, virtually, etc. And so yes, absolutely, there's an ambassador program.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So here's the last question. Okay, what is your marketing plan for now?
Sure. So there's a couple of things that come with marketing. I think that it is important to understand again that marketing is not just advertising per se, right? So marketing has to do, the token, for example, is an activity that has to do with marketing. It's related to capturing the value and setting a price. Pricing is part of marketing as well, to the value captured in the ecosystem. We also have, of course, the ambassador program I just mentioned. There is a KOL program, key opinion leader program, in which we've been engaging with, again, just people that really bring a lot of value with their knowledge, with their background, with their network, to to our experience, to our plans, to our growth. And then, of course, there is airdrop activities. There is the Boolean greeting event that I mentioned, where people can just send their greeting or their song or their comedy, etc., in their native language. Right. So there's a series of events that are planned. We'll also be participating in a number of conferences. We will be in Thailand starting November 9th for what is the Blockchain Week in Bangkok. And so we expect to continue to participate throughout the year in more of these events. And so those are just a few of them. Again, I think that there's just so many activities to engage the community. The best thing to do would be to just be on the lookout, to go through our social media channels and announcements. That's the best way to find out. But really, right now, the marketing plans involve the growth of the number of nodes that are out there. It involves the growth of the community, and then it involves being in front of people through conferences, etc. And then finally, of course, the token generation event, which is also a marketing activity.
Okay, yeah, thank you for answering all of the questions. So I think we're enough for now. I think we covered everything.
Mhm.
But before wrapping this session, do you have anything else that you want to share, like any important news or anything else?
I think right now the biggest news, and again, one of the things that we're most excited about is the launch of the mainnet. November 10th is in a countdown in all of our computers and all of our clocks. We're very much excited for that. Everyone's support has been fundamental in getting to this point. So we're very thankful to our community. I would say that's the biggest one to keep an eye out for. And of course, participate in the Boolean greeting events. We love seeing our community around the world. We'd love to hear, we'd love to see how people are creative, and how they bring the Bull Network family into different parts of the world. But yeah, so the I would say that's an activity that's in conjunction, but really all eyes are on the launch of the mainnet this November 10th.
Yes, I'm also excited, guys. So don't miss a chance to be part of this made at launch. Actually, I think there is so many things just waiting for you. Actually, so thank you all for your comments. So people don't forget to follow their all kind of social for their next updates. Actually, thank you, Raul, for your coming. Wish you good luck
Thank
for the
you.
future. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.